Good evening, everyone. We really appreciate your coming tonight. My name is Rieko. These are my co-presenter, Yuka and mine. Our presentation topic is the shadow of society, the homeless in Japan. As you can see, our presentation topic is not too fun. We chose this topic because we want you to know real Japan. It is not only good aspect, but also serious aspect.
First, Yuka will talk about background of homelessness. Next, I will explain the life of the homeless. And finally, Rieko will talk about support for homeless people. Let's learn about background of homeless.
Thank you, Mai. As she said, today I'll tell you the background of the homeless people. First of all, I would like to share details about the homelessness. According to the recent government survey, there are 50,600 homeless people, which you may find too small a number. This is because they only counted the homeless people on the streets daytime when most of them are working or in other activities. The government also says the number of the homeless has been decreasing. With these statistics, 12% of homeless people are in their 40s and 70% are 50 years old or older. But as mentioned before, the way of this survey is a little funny, so it's difficult to get an accurate number. Today, I would like to talk about people's feeling about homelessness, reasons for homelessness, and economic incidents. Look at this picture. You can see some camps of homeless people in the park. I'll start by the first topic, people's feeling about homelessness. I would like to show you some images of homeless people which Japanese people have. First, 67.6% of Japanese people think homeless people are unwholesome. Next, 67.5% filthy. Third, 51% lazy. These are common images which Japanese people have. However, there is not often a relationship between homeless people and other people, so many Japanese people might get these images from their misunderstandings or prejudiced ideas. Let me explain some reasons for homelessness. In January 2012, the Ministry of Health of Japan investigated the actual situation of homelessness. From this survey, reasons for homelessness can be understood. First, 19.8% of homeless people answered a decrease in their business for the reason, and this is the most common reason. Next, 15.8% bankruptcy or unemployment. Third, 11.5% jobless because of illness, injury, or age. On the other hand, the percentage of homeless people who have some problem of dependencies, such as drinking, gambling, or drug use, is not so high, and only 4.5%. Let's move on to the next topic, economic incidents. I would like to show you two big incidents, collapse of the bubble economy and revision of the worker dispatching law. The bubble economy means overheated economy which took place in Japan. It started in December 1986 and collapsed in February 1991. Many companies' profits declined because of the collapse of the bubble economy. Especially, the construction industry suffered great loss. The demand for construction increased a lot during the period of the rapid economic growth. As a result, there were many major construction firms. There was a long history of that the construction industry had hired many unemployed people, so there was a lot of day laborers, and it was called the safety net for unemployed people. However, after the collapse of the bubble economy, the demand for construction decreased, so many major construction firms stopped their role as a safety net. There was no other safety net, so many day laborers lost their job. It shows the decline in the construction industry played a big role in the homeless problem. Let me explain another economic instance, the revision of the worker dispatching law. The worker dispatching law is supposed to protect temporary workers' rights. It regulates general rules such as working conditions. This law was revised by ex-Koizumi cabinet in 2004. Look at this picture. He is Junichiro Koizumi. Due to this revision, the type of temp jobs became more diverse. The period of temp work was also changed from 3 years limit to no limit. Before this revision, manufacturing companies couldn't hire temp workers due to a long history of corruption in manufacturing business. To protect workers, temp agencies couldn't exist in some business after World War II until the revision in 2004. The purpose of the 2004 revision was the expansion of employment opportunities in order to reduce unemployment. Sadly, in 2008, many temp workers lost their job as a result of the world economic crisis. Consequently, many of them lost their homes and became homelessness. At the beginning of my presentation, I said more than half of Japanese people think homeless people are lazy. Homeless people tend to be seen they chose their life by themselves, and actually some people did so. However, as I said, there are other reasons from social background which cause homeless problem. Next, Mai will tell you the life of the homeless.
Thank you, Yuka. Today I will talk about the life of the homeless. Now I have 2 questions for you. Have you ever seen the homeless? Have you ever talked with them? As Yuka said, many people have bad image of the homeless. So today I have 3 goals for you: to know the life of the homeless, to change the bad image, and accept with respect. To help you understand the life of the homeless, I will talk about detail about homeless and discrimination and attacks. Let's move on to detail about the homeless. In this picture, there are many homeless men. They came this park to get food by volunteer. Today, I divide 2 types of Japanese homeless. First, 70% of Japanese homeless live on the street, and 30% of Japanese homeless live in the internet cafe. In Japan, internet cafe can include free drinks and shower. And also, the rate of internet cafe is very cheap, only $13 per night. So, many people can use internet cafe as a hotel. And surprisingly, the clerk at internet cafe don't kick them out because business is business. Please look at this ratio. The ratio of homeless men to women who live on the street was 24 to 1. However, the ratio of homeless men to women who live in the internet cafe was 3 to 2. From this information, we can notice many homeless women live inside like internet cafe because the support for homeless women is not good. Next, how do they make money? In Japan, 60% of Japanese homeless were day laborers last year. Of these people, 78% of them collect cans to make money. However, it is illegal in specific area in Japan. So it is very difficult for homeless people to get money. And it is very different between Japan and America. Japanese homeless do not beg for money because it is very embarrassing for Japanese people to beg for money. And also, even the homeless, they don't want others to think badly of them. For my next point, I will talk about discrimination and attacks. In Japan, many people, including police and students, discriminate against the homeless. Osaka and Tokyo has majority of the homeless. Especially, Nishinari in Osaka has the biggest group of the homeless. Today, I will tell you about two types of discrimination by the police and students. Let's move on to discrimination by the police. In 1961, the biggest riot happened in Nishinari, Osaka, because of taxi accident. A taxi ran over a day laborer who was homeless. After that, a police came to see him. However, the police didn't do anything because the police noticed he is homeless. 20 minutes later, an ambulance came to see him, but it's too late. After that, the homeless passed away. After this accident happened, many homeless got angry because of unfair treatment by the police. Then, the biggest riot happened in this area, Nishinari. Then, the name of this area changed Ai-rin. Ai means love. Rin means neighbor in Japanese. So, the meaning of this area is love thy neighbor. However, still now, the biggest group of homeless live in this area, Nishinari. So, it's not solution, is it? Next, let's move on to attacks by students. From 1983 to 2009, 73 attacks by students happened. Students are including elementary, junior high, and high school students. The reasons for attacks were bullying, lack of education, violence video games, and discrimination. And also, Japanese adults teach their children, don't speak to the homeless, they are dirty and lazy. If you don't study hard, you will be a homeless like them. It is one of the reasons for discrimination. The student attacks the homeless by throwing stones, put fire on their houses, and some of them use iron stick to hit them. So, some homeless people were killed by the students. Can you believe it? After that, school administration made books about human rights. Then, the number of attacks decreased by half. And also, in winter, students and their parents go to this area, Nishinari, and they give food like rice bowl and blanket to the homeless. Through this activity, the students have chance to talk with them. Then their bad image changed clearly. From this point, we can notice the importance of education and communication. In conclusion, I had bad image of the homeless, as many people have. However, I talked with some homeless people in Japan. Before I go to this area, Nishinari, I was very afraid to talk with them. However, they are kindly and friendly. It is very difficult to know their life as a homeless. However, it's very important to know their life and communication. And the most important thing is accept the homeless with respect. Next, Rieko will talk about support for the homeless.
Thank you, Mai, for sharing us about the lifestyle of Japanese homeless. I think you know the lifestyle and background of Japanese homeless. From now, I would like to explain the support for the homeless. My presentation topic is Japanese support for the homeless. In Japan, there are two organizations who support the homeless. One of them is government. The other one is non-profit organizations. So today, I would like to explain the government support and non-profit organization support. Beginning with government support. This government means central and federal local and federal government. There are three things what I would like to explain: history, focus, activities. Let me tell you about history. History for the homeless support. As my co-presenter Yuka said, the bubble economy collapsed in 1991, which caused an increase of Japanese homelessness. In 1999, the first meeting was held at the government. They talked about the solution of the homeless. In 2000, the support for the homeless got a budget, and the government built 8 support centers in Japan. In 2007, the government doubled the budget, and they built 22 support centers in Japan. Let's look at the government's focus. The government started to support the homeless. However, in 2002, the percentage of the homeless who want a job now was 50%. So the government decided to support the homeless who want a job now. Also, the government have two focus to support the homeless who want a job now. One of them is to get a job. The other one is to become independent. To achieve these goals, the government do many support for the homeless. Let me tell you about what the government does. The government tries to decrease the number of homeless. As I said, the government built 30 support centers in Japan. The support center try to give a job for the homeless. The support center patrol on the street, and they find the homeless. If the homeless want a job, the support center start to rebuild their life. They provide medical checkup. Sometimes they solve debt and money problem. Also, they teach knowledge and skills how to get job. Through this process, the homeless can get a job. However, the government support for the homeless is not only normal support, but also follow-up care. Follow-up care means to keep contact with the former homeless. Former homeless means the homeless who graduate from the support center when they get a job. The homeless can graduate from the support center when they get a job. However, it is difficult to continue to work hard for them because they don't have someone who cares about them, such as family. This blue shows the percentage of the homeless who don't have family. As you can see, almost all homeless don't have family. So it is difficult for them to work hard. So therefore, the support center tries to keep contact with former homeless. For example, they call twice in a week, or they invite the former homeless to the support center. And they talk about their life. It is really important support for the former homeless. Through this process, the homeless can get a job and can continue to work hard. This is what the government does. Let's move on to the next topic, NPO support. There are two things what I would like to explain. First, what NPO is, and second, what NPO does. First, what NPO is. Do you know what is NPO? Thank you. NPO is non-profit organization. So in Japan, there are 60 organizations who support the homeless without profit. NPO support characteristic is temporary support. Temporary support means just giving food or a place to live one day. Also, as I said, the government try to support the homeless who want a job now. So NPO try to support the homeless who couldn't get the support from the government. In other words, NPO try to cover the gap which the government couldn't cover. I think American people know well temporary support because in America, there are a lot of organizations who support the homeless, such as shelter and church. However, there are differences between American temporary support and Japanese temporary support. Actually, in Japan, shelter is not common culture. Also, we have temple and shrine. However, these religion organizations don't help the homeless. So there are differences between American temporary support and Japanese temporary support. Let me tell you about what NPO does. NPO provides the emergency food for the homeless, such as rice bowl. They provide the place for bathing. Sometimes they provide massage for the homeless. This is what NPO does for the homeless. In Japan, there are two organizations who support the homeless, government and NPO. These organizations are really important to support the homeless. In conclusion, through searching Japanese support for the homeless, I was able to learn how big the homeless problem is and how difficult to support the homeless people. However, I have one thing which I think deeply. The human relationship is really important. There are many people who support the homeless. Also, if the homeless have someone who care about them, it will be confidence to rebuild their life. So after you listen to my presentation, I hope you will recognize deeply the importance of human relationship.
To learn about homelessness, we visited some places such as Union Gospel Mission, Women's Health in Spokane, and the support center in Japan. Then we noticed how little knowledge of homelessness we had. Honestly, we had bad images of homeless people. However, our opinions were changed by these experiences.
And now, we really want to do something like volunteer, and we recognize the importance of knowing how the real situation is. At the very beginning, we call our presentation title "In the Shadow of Society." However, homelessness is a part of society. Thank you for listening.
Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
What did you talk with homeless?
The question was what I talk with homeless people. When I went to the Nishinari, Osaka, I talked with homeless people about their life and their experience as a homeless. And in my guess, they have no money to build their life. However, they work very hard as a homeless, and they try to change their life. So not all homeless people are lazy, I noticed.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone has any other question?
Is there a difference between American homeless and Japanese homeless in Japan?
The lady wants to know what is the difference between American homeless and Japanese homeless.
I think the reason is different. Almost American reason why they become homeless is alcohol or drug. However, Japanese reason why they become homeless is what, as my co-presenter Yuka said, the economy reason. Yes.
And as Mai said, Japanese homeless people, many Japanese people don't beg money, so I think it's also a big difference.
Any more questions? Yes.
Thank you. The question is what we can do for homeless people. So what can we support for homeless people? Yes. Honestly, it's difficult to help them directly, but through our research, we found many support, many volunteer groups. So, yeah, so we want to join this group. So we were talking about it. So after we go back to Japan, so maybe, yes, we will join that. Yes, thank you.
Does anyone have any more other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.